Business Rules in the AI Age, Built for Tomorrow, presented by AI Audiobook, predicted and narrated by AI. This book is a practical guide for entrepreneurs, professionals, and business leaders who want to stay ahead as the world changes. It reveals how AI is reshaping everything from sales and branding to leadership, creativity, and the very structure of work itself. Predicted and structured by AI, this book looks ahead 10, 20 years and beyond, to help you understand where business is going and how to build something that lasts in that future. It's not based on hype, but on clear patterns, smart forecasting, and deep shifts already in motion. This is your roadmap for the next era of business, built for tomorrow. Let's begin. Introduction. We are standing at the edge of the greatest transformation in business history. Artificial intelligence is no longer just a tool. It's becoming the environment in which all businesses operate. Whether you're a solo freelancer, a startup founder, or a corporate leader, the game is changing. The rules that brought success in the past will not carry us into the future. We're seeing entire industries shift in real time. Tasks that used to take teams of people can now be done by algorithms in minutes. Creative work, strategy, customer service, even sales, everything is being redefined, and the pace is only getting faster. But with change comes opportunity. Those who understand the new landscape will have an incredible edge. They'll move quicker, reach farther, and build things the old systems never allowed. This book is about understanding the new rules of business in the AI age. It's about seeing what's coming and preparing today, not just to survive it, but to lead in it. You won't find hype in these pages. You'll find clarity, insight, and direction. You'll learn how to build smarter, adapt faster, and unlock new value in a world reshaped by automation, algorithms, and infinite digital choice. If you're ready to build something built for tomorrow, this book is for you. Chapter 1. The End of Business as Usual. The world didn't give us a formal announcement. No breaking news headline warned us that traditional business had quietly expired. But somewhere in the whirlwind of smart devices, cloud systems, global platforms, and AI breakthroughs, the familiar way of doing business ended. The routines, the blueprints, the industry playbooks, they're not just outdated, they're obsolete. For years, success meant building something once and scaling it. You set up a process, trained a team, and competed by offering a slightly better version of what others were already doing. In that world, predictability was power. You could plan 5 years ahead with a spreadsheet and a strong gut instinct. That world rewarded consistency, size, and stability. But that world is gone. Today's business landscape is not a straight road. It's a moving river. And in that current, trying to follow yesterday's map is the fastest way to sink. Technology now evolves faster than most businesses can adapt. Customers have more options than ever before, and less patience. What worked last year might already feel like a fossil today. Look closely and you'll see the shift everywhere. Small teams are outperforming large corporations. One-person brands are reaching millions without office buildings or funding. Products are launched, tested, and improved in weeks, not years. Decisions are driven by real-time data instead of guesswork. And artificial intelligence is quietly replacing tasks, processes, and even entire departments that once defined traditional business structure. But this isn't just about technology, it's about behavior. Power has shifted to the individual. The customer is not just king, they're the algorithm, the critic, and the distribution network. One bad experience can cost you hundreds of future sales. One well-timed move can multiply your reach overnight. Business is no longer about control, it's about momentum. Entrepreneurs who cling to the old rules will find themselves outpaced, outpriced, and overlooked. But those who understand what's changing and why can build smarter, move faster, and operate with a level of clarity and creativity that previous generations only dreamed of. The end of business as usual isn't a threat, it's an invitation. It's a chance to build leaner, think sharper, and design businesses that thrive in change, not just survive it. The tools are here, the platforms are open, and the next era of entrepreneurship belongs to those who know how to read the signs of the shift and act before the crowd catches up. This book is your map for that new territory, but this time, you're not following an old trail, you're drawing the next one. Chapter 2, Why AI Changes Everything. Artificial intelligence is not just another invention. It's not like electricity or the internet or smartphones, though it may feel similar. It's deeper. It doesn't just give us new tools. It changes the way we think, work, decide, and compete. It reshapes the very foundation of business because it no longer adds to human ability. It replaces parts of it. AI is the first technology that mimics how we think. It learns from patterns, adapts with data, and solves problems with speed and scale no human team can match. But unlike a traditional tool, AI doesn't wait for instructions. It anticipates, it predicts, it acts, and in doing so, it creates a new kind of business intelligence, one that never sleeps, never forgets, and never stops optimizing. In the past, building a business meant hiring people to perform key roles: writers to write, analysts to analyze, assistants to manage schedules, marketers to handle campaigns. Now, an AI system can write a sales page, generate market insights, automate outreach, and schedule posts across platforms, all before breakfast. This is not an exaggeration. This is the new baseline. The cost of doing business has dropped dramatically for those who embrace this shift. Tasks that required teams now need one person and the right tools. Speed has gone from weeks to minutes. Testing, scaling, pivoting, all of it is faster, smarter, and more accessible than ever. And because AI doesn't get tired, its value compounds quietly in the background, 24 hours a day. But the real shift isn't in what AI does. It's in how humans respond. When technology becomes that powerful, it forces everyone, entrepreneurs, corporations, freelancers, and teams, to redefine what they actually bring to the table. Creativity, emotion, strategy, trust, these are now the premium layers that sit above the machine's work. You are no longer just a provider of output. You are a designer of value. In the AI age, the advantage doesn't belong to the biggest company. It belongs to the fastest learner, the one who adapts, the one who uses AI not as a crutch but as a multiplier, the one who doesn't fear being replaced but leans in and reinvents how business is done. These are the leaders, creators, and thinkers who will shape the next decade, not by resisting change, but by partnering with it. There's no going back to business as it was, and that's a good thing. AI unlocks new frontiers of possibility. It removes limits. It levels the playing field. It asks more of us, but in return, it gives us more than we've ever had. If you understand how to think with it, not just use it, you can do more than keep up. You can lead. Chapter 3: The Death of Average. There was a time when average was enough. If your product worked, your price was fair, and your customer service was decent, you could survive. In many cases, you could even thrive. Business was built on being consistent, reliable, and available. The middle was safe. The average sold well. But that time is over. In a world of infinite choice, average disappears. It no longer holds attention, no longer earns trust, and no longer gets talked about. When people have 1,000 options at their fingertips, they don't search for what's good enough. They search for what stands out, what feels made for them, what hits different. AI has accelerated this change. Customers now expect personalization in everything, from the emails they open to the ads they see, the products they buy, and even the content they scroll through. Algorithms show them only what's relevant, timely, and engaging, which means if your offer looks like everyone else's, it won't be seen at all. But this shift is not just about technology, it's about psychology. The market no longer rewards companies for meeting expectations. It rewards them for exceeding them, for surprising people, for making them feel like the brand was built with them in mind. Every business, no matter how small, is now being measured against the best experiences people have ever had. And if your customer had a seamless experience with a global tech brand this morning, they'll subconsciously expect the same from you this afternoon. This is the death of average. Not because people demand perfection, but because they crave meaning. They want to feel seen, and they want to be wowed. That doesn't require being the biggest or spending the most. It requires knowing your customer deeply, using data intelligently, and being brave enough to break the mold. The businesses that win in this age are not the ones who play it safe. They're the ones who choose a bold tone of voice, serve a specific community, or design an experience that speaks directly to a need others overlook. They don't settle for doing what works. They aim to do what resonates. Being average today is riskier than being bold. Average blends in. bold breaks through. And in a marketplace ruled by attention and emotion, breaking through is everything. This is your advantage as an entrepreneur in the AI era. You don't have to please everyone. You just have to deeply matter to someone. The tools you need to understand, reach, and serve that someone are already in your hands. The only thing missing is the courage to stop aiming for the middle, because in the world we're stepping into, the middle has vanished. Chapter 4: Speed, Trust, and Data. In the old economy, money was the main currency. Then came attention. But now 3 forces are shaping the future of business faster than anything else: speed, trust, and data. These are not just trends. They are the core currencies of modern value. If you want to grow a business in the age of AI, you need to master all 3. Speed is no longer a luxury. It's the expectation. The speed of communication, speed of delivery, speed of decision-making. These things define whether you keep up or get left behind. Customers expect real-time answers. Markets shift overnight. Technology updates by the hour. If your business moves slowly, it's not just inefficient, it's invisible. The faster you test, adapt, launch, and respond, the more relevant you stay. Speed creates momentum. It builds energy. And in a crowded market, momentum is what pulls people in. But speed alone is dangerous without trust. Because in this new world, people don't just buy products. They buy confidence. They buy a promise that what you say will happen actually will. Trust is the invisible foundation under every transaction. Without it, marketing falls flat, offers get ignored, and loyal customers vanish. But when trust is high, everything moves faster. People buy quicker. They return more often. They refer without hesitation. And they forgive small mistakes because they believe you're worth believing in. And then there's data. It's the nervous system of the modern business. Data tells you what's working, what's not, who your customer is, what they care about, and how they behave. It shows you patterns before they become problems. It helps you personalize at scale, test ideas with precision, and spend less time guessing. In the AI age, businesses that use data effectively don't just make better decisions. They make faster, smarter, and more confident decisions at scale. When these 3 currencies come together, speed, trust, and data, you get a business that moves with clarity, operates with integrity, and grows with precision. You're not just throwing ideas at the wall. You're building with insight. You're adjusting in real time. You're earning loyalty by showing up consistently and delivering what matters. This is what modern customers reward. Not just a better product, but a better experience. Not just fast answers, but honest ones. Not just smart ideas, but smart timing, clear communication, and thoughtful use of what you know. It's no longer enough to be skilled or passionate. You need systems that move quickly, build trust naturally, and use data intelligently to serve better than ever before. These are not bonus features. These are the new rules of competition. So if you want to lead in the business world that's emerging, don't just ask how to grow. Ask how to move faster. Ask how to earn trust faster. Ask how to listen better through the data already coming in. Because those who understand these 3 currencies and know how to use them will hold the advantage in every industry, every market, every time. Chapter 5: The Rise of the One-Person Company. There was a time when starting a business meant building a team, leasing an office, managing logistics, and securing funding. The road from idea to income was long, expensive, and filled with gatekeepers. But that era is quickly fading. A new kind of business is emerging: lean, fast, independent, and often run by just one person. The one-person company is not a side hustle. It's not a fallback plan. It's a serious business model built on modern tools, global platforms, and digital infrastructure. Today, a single individual can do what used to require an entire team. They can design, market, sell, deliver, and scale, all from a laptop. And in many cases, they can do it better than traditional companies. AI is a major reason why this shift is happening. It replaces repetitive tasks, speeds up creative processes, and automates the systems that used to drain time and money. With the right tools, one person can create content, respond to customers, manage finances, test products, and gather insights, all without hiring a single employee. The result is not just more control, it's more agility. These solo entrepreneurs can pivot faster, experiment more freely, and avoid the overhead that slows big companies down. But it's not just technology that makes the one-person company possible. It's mindset. These entrepreneurs don't try to look big. They try to be useful. They focus on value, not scale. On relationships, not reach. On building something small, smart, and sustainable before chasing growth. They are deeply connected to their audience, quick to adapt to feedback, and highly motivated to improve. And the market rewards them. Customers don't care how many people work behind the scenes. They care about results. They care about speed, quality, and connection. A solo creator who understands their audience can feel more personal and trustworthy than a faceless brand. And in an age where authenticity matters more than polish, that human touch becomes a powerful competitive edge. This model also changes how people think about success. It's no longer defined by office size, employee count, or rounds of funding. Success today is about freedom, impact, and ownership. Many one-person companies are generating 6 or 7 figures annually while working fewer hours and making all their own decisions. They are building lifestyles, not just companies. And in doing so, they're redefining what modern entrepreneurship looks like. Of course, this model isn't easy. It requires discipline, strategy, and a clear sense of what matters. There's no one else to blame when things go wrong, no departments to delegate to, but there's also no ceiling. You decide the direction. You set the standards. You build the business your way. The rise of the one-person company is not a trend. It's a signal that the tools of production and growth have become accessible to anyone with a vision and the courage to act. In the AI age, the power to build no longer belongs to a few. It belongs to you. You don't need permission. You don't need a team. You just need to start. Chapter 6: Humans Still Matter. In a world where machines can write, design, analyze, and respond faster than any human ever could, it's tempting to believe that people are becoming optional. Businesses everywhere are racing to automate. Tasks that once required time, attention, and emotion are now handled in seconds by algorithms and systems. It's efficient, it's impressive, and it's changing everything. But beneath the speed and power of artificial intelligence, one truth remains: humans still matter. Technology can replicate output, but it can't replicate intent. It can sort data, but it doesn't understand context. It can simulate tone, but it doesn't feel emotion. That's where people come in. What sets great businesses apart in the AI age isn't how much automation they use, it's how human they remain while using it. Empathy cannot be outsourced. Imagination cannot be coded. Integrity cannot be downloaded. These are the elements that build real connection, create lasting brands, and earn deep trust. No matter how advanced the tools become, people still crave what only other people can offer: understanding, storytelling, emotion, and meaning. This is especially true in moments of friction. When things go wrong, when choices feel risky, when emotion runs high, customers don't want a flawless bot. They want a human who cares. They want someone who listens, who understands nuance, who can make judgment calls not based on logic alone, but on wisdom, ethics, and empathy. That's not a job for a machine. That's a job for you. Even in creativity, where AI can now generate endless variations in seconds, the best ideas still come from a human spark. Machines can remix what already exists, but people are the ones who see what's missing. We are the ones who connect dots in new ways, who tell stories that move hearts, who craft experiences that feel real, not generated. We give the work soul. In leadership, too, the human element is irreplaceable. Great leaders don't just make decisions. They shape culture, they set tone, they inspire belief. A spreadsheet won't rally a team. A dashboard won't mentor future talent. Business is still at its core a human endeavor, because every sale, every solution, every success begins with trust. And trust is built by people. The future of business will be powered by machines, but it will be led by humans. That's why emotional intelligence, communication, creativity, and ethics are rising in value. These are not soft skills, they are power skills. They are the difference between businesses that simply function and those that truly flourish. So as the tools evolve, don't fear being replaced. Focus instead on being deeply human. Use AI to enhance what you do, not erase who you are. Let it take the repetitive work so you can focus on the meaningful. Let it speed up the systems so you can slow down for the moments that matter. Because the businesses that win won't be the most automated. They'll be the most human at the moments that count. Chapter 7: The New Brand Rules in a Crowded Digital World. Branding used to be about logos, colors, and taglines. You hired a designer, printed business cards, and made sure your tone was consistent across every platform. That was enough to stand out. But the digital world changed that. And now, in a space where everyone has a brand, standing out means something very different. The internet removed the gatekeepers. Anyone can build a platform, launch a product, or start a company. That's the beauty of modern business, but it also means there's more noise than ever. More choices, more content, more competition for attention. If you sound like everyone else, you're invisible. If you look like everyone else, you're forgettable. And if you speak without clarity or confidence, people scroll past without even noticing. In this crowded digital world, your brand is no longer what you say about yourself. It's what people feel when they experience you. It's what they remember. It's the reputation you build when you show up again and again with clarity, value, and authenticity. It's how you make people feel seen, heard, and understood. And those are not things you can fake. Trust is now the most valuable part of your brand. It's built in moments, not marketing. In how quickly you respond, in how consistently you deliver, in whether your message actually matches your actions. The brands people follow, share, and buy from are the ones that feel real, helpful, and human. No amount of perfect graphics or fancy taglines can replace that. But clarity is just as important. The brands that win online are not the loudest. They're the clearest. They know exactly who they're speaking to and exactly what they offer. They're not trying to appeal to everyone. They're solving one real problem for one real kind of person, and doing it in a voice that feels personal, not polished. AI has made it easier than ever to build branded content, but that also means generic content is everywhere. If you copy the templates, follow the trends, and use the same recycled language as everyone else, you disappear into the noise. But if you speak with precision, if you write the way you talk, if you show up with the confidence of someone who actually knows their audience, you stand out instantly. Consistency is the final key. In a world where attention is short and loyalty is rare, the brands that stay top of mind are the ones that stay visible. You don't need to go viral. You need to show up, week after week, message after message. And every time someone sees your brand, they should feel the same tone, the same promise, the same energy. That's how trust compounds. That's how loyalty builds. That's how strangers become customers, and customers become advocates. So forget the old rules of branding. Forget the obsession with looking professional or saying the perfect thing. In this new world, branding is about clarity, trust, and presence. It's about showing up honestly and staying long enough to be remembered. That's what makes a brand powerful. That's what makes it last. Chapter 8: How to Sell in a World That Sells Itself. Selling used to be a direct exchange. You pitched, they listened. You explained, they decided. Whether it happened in person, through ads, or over the phone, sales was about persuasion. It was about getting people to say yes by showing them why they should. But that world has shifted. Now, sales happen long before you show up, and sometimes without you at all. We live in an era of invisible sales, where content educates, algorithms recommend, and decisions are made in silence. People research on their own. They read reviews, scan your website, watch your videos, and scroll through your brand without ever announcing their interest. By the time they reach out, if they ever do, they've already made up their mind. This is why traditional sales tactics are losing power. The hard sell feels outdated, the scripted pitch sounds forced, and the pushy follow-up breaks trust instead of building it. In a world flooded with information and choices, people don't want to be sold to. They want to be helped, seen, and respected, and they want to feel in control of their own decision. So how do you sell when the sale happens before you speak? You shift your role. You stop acting like a persuader and start showing up as a guide. You create content that answers questions, removes doubt, and builds confidence. You speak with clarity and simplicity. You demonstrate value before asking for anything in return. And you make it easy for people to say yes, without ever making them feel pushed. Trust is the new closing technique. And the way you build it is by showing people that you understand them, care about their outcomes, and genuinely believe in the solution you offer. That belief is contagious. When your messaging is aligned, your tone is honest, and your offer is clear, people lean in on their own. They begin to trust you before you even know they're watching. AI plays a major role in this shift. It powers the emails, the content, the responses, the follow-ups. It helps you scale communication without losing personalization. It lets you test messages, optimize funnels, and fine-tune your offer with precision. But even the most advanced automation can't hide a weak message or fake authenticity. You still have to show up with intention. Selling in the modern world is more about creating space than creating pressure. You don't have to chase every lead or convince every visitor. You build systems that speak for you. You design experiences that guide people forward naturally. And when the moment comes, you invite them to act, not by force, but by making it feel like the obvious next step. This kind of selling feels better for everyone. It builds long-term loyalty instead of short-term wins. It attracts aligned customers instead of transactional ones. And it turns your brand into a magnet, one that draws the right people in and lets the wrong ones filter out without friction. You don't need to yell to be heard. You just need to speak clearly to the right person, at the right moment, in the right way. Because in this new world, the best sales don't feel like sales at all. They feel like alignment, and alignment always leads to action. Chapter 9, Rebuilding Work, the Future of Jobs, Teams and Freelancers. Work is being rebuilt from the inside out. Not just where we do it, but how, why, and with whom. The rules that shaped careers for decades are now shifting under our feet. Full-time jobs, fixed locations, rigid hierarchies, these are no longer the default. And as AI automates more tasks, the deeper question is not what jobs will disappear, but what work will remain and how we will choose to do it. For employees, the promise of long-term security has given way to the demand for meaningful flexibility. People are no longer satisfied with climbing a corporate ladder just to reach a corner office. They want purpose, autonomy, work that fits life, not the other way around. And as companies adapt to global teams, remote culture, and AI-integrated workflows, they're being forced to redefine what it actually means to hire, manage, and retain talent. The future of work is less about roles and more about results, less about hours and more about impact. Smart companies are moving away from job descriptions and toward problem-solving. They're building teams based on skill, not title. They're hiring for outcomes, not optics. And they're no longer limited by geography, office space, or even traditional employment contracts. This is where freelancers and independent professionals are thriving. The rise of remote work, cloud collaboration, and AI productivity has created a golden era for the skilled solo worker. Designers, writers, developers, strategists, coaches, and consultants now have global access to clients and tools once reserved for large companies. And businesses, in turn, are discovering that small, flexible teams often deliver better, faster, and more creatively than large departments weighed down by politics and process. But this new way of working also brings new challenges. Without clear structures, people must learn to self-manage. Without traditional offices, teams must learn to build culture from a distance. Without long-term contracts, workers must learn to earn trust constantly. The ability to communicate clearly, collaborate across tools, and deliver results on time is no longer optional. It's the baseline. For those willing to adapt, the opportunities are enormous. You can build a career on your own terms, work with people you admire, and shape a lifestyle that reflects your values. You can contribute meaningfully to big projects without giving up your independence. And you can earn more by being known for something specific, rather than trying to do everything for everyone. For business owners, this shift demands new leadership. It requires clarity, empathy, and systems that empower rather than control. It means managing outcomes, not time cards. Coaching, not commanding. Trusting your people enough to let them do great work in their own way. AI will continue to reshape how tasks are done, but it cannot replace the human dynamics of work. It won't lead a team, spark innovation, or build a culture of trust. Those things still depend on us. The future belongs to businesses that treat people like partners, not positions. To teams that collaborate across boundaries, roles, and technologies with shared purpose. Work is no longer where you go, it's what you create. And those who understand how to build that creation, whether alone or with others, will lead the way into a new era of productivity, freedom, and human potential. Chapter 10: Innovation at the Edge: How Small Players Win Big. Innovation doesn't always start in boardrooms. It rarely begins with the biggest companies or the most polished systems. More often, it starts at the edge. In side projects, in overlooked markets, in tiny teams with no budget but a bold idea. This is where the real breakthroughs happen. And in the AI age, the edge has never had more power. The old advantage was size. Big companies had the resources, the reach, and the infrastructure to dominate. But now, those same advantages can become liabilities. Bureaucracy slows them down. Legacy systems hold them back. Meanwhile, small players can move faster, test quicker, and adapt with less friction. They don't need permission. They just need vision, tools, and action. The tools are the great equalizer. A solo founder with AI tools can now analyze market data, generate ideas, launch products, and reach global audiences, all from a laptop. The barrier to entry is lower than ever, which means speed, clarity, and originality become the new edge. If you see a gap and act on it, you can beat the competition before they even notice the gap was there. What small businesses lack in scale, they make up for in proximity. Proximity to the customer, to the problem, to the ground-level insights that big companies often miss. Small players can talk directly to the people they serve, gather feedback in real time, and make changes overnight. That intimacy creates better solutions, deeper loyalty, and faster growth. But what truly allows small players to win is mindset. They're not trapped by the way things have always been done. They're not protecting an old system. They're building something new. That mindset is what fuels real innovation. It's not about being different for the sake of it. It's about seeing what others ignore, solving what others avoid, and having the courage to launch before it's perfect. Some of the world's most disruptive businesses started this way. In kitchens, in coffee shops, in messy notebooks. What they all had in common was speed, insight, and a willingness to act without waiting for approval. Today, those same qualities can take you further than ever before, because the platforms are bigger, the tools are smarter, and the market is always watching. AI accelerates this even more. It gives you leverage. It multiplies your creativity. It removes technical barriers and helps you build like a team, even if you're on your own. But technology is not what makes your idea valuable. It's your clarity, your timing, your ability to spot patterns and move before the rest of the world catches up. In this new landscape, you don't need to be the biggest player. You need to be the sharpest one, the one closest to the need, the one who listens better, builds faster, and dares to do things differently. That's where innovation lives now. Not in size or tradition, but in agility and boldness. So if you're small, stay sharp. If you're new, stay curious. If you're not the industry leader, you have less to lose and more to gain. Use that. Build with it. Because in the age of fast change, the edge isn't a disadvantage. It's the advantage. Chapter 11: Future-proofing skills, systems, and strategy. The future is uncertain, but one thing is clear. The businesses and professionals who thrive will be those who prepare today. Future-proofing is no longer a buzzword. It's a necessity. It means building the right skills, putting the right systems in place, and creating strategies that adapt to change, not just react to it. Skills are the foundation. As AI automates routine work, the value of uniquely human skills rises. Critical thinking, creativity, emotional intelligence, communication, and strategic decision-making become the hard currency. These are the abilities that machines can't replicate. They allow you to lead, innovate, and build connections that matter. Investing in learning these skills is investing in your future relevance. Systems are the engine. Future-proof businesses don't rely on heroics or guesswork. They build repeatable, scalable processes that integrate technology and people seamlessly. Automation is not about replacing humans, but amplifying their impact. Well-designed systems let you focus on high-value work while AI handles the rest. They reduce risk and free up time for growth and innovation. Strategy is the compass. The fastest changes don't mean reckless moves. They demand clarity about where you're headed and why. Future-proof strategies are flexible and informed by data, but rooted in purpose. They balance long-term vision with short-term adaptability. They prepare for multiple scenarios without losing focus on core values. Future-proofing also means embracing a mindset of continuous learning and experimentation. What works today won't necessarily work tomorrow. Being open to change, curious about new tools, and willing to pivot quickly is essential. It's not about predicting the future perfectly, but about being ready for whatever comes. This approach protects you from disruption. It turns uncertainty into opportunity. It builds resilience into your business and career so that no matter how AI or market shifts unfold, you stay relevant and competitive. Future-proofing isn't about avoiding risk. It's about managing it intelligently. It's about creating a business and a personal brand that can survive the unknown by being built on adaptability, strength, and insight. As you prepare for tomorrow, focus on mastering the skills AI can't replace, building systems that support agility, and crafting strategies that guide you through change. This is how you ensure that you're not just reacting to the future, but shaping it. Chapter 12. Built for Tomorrow, Your Business in the Next Decade. The next decade will not be a gentle evolution. It will be a rapid transformation. Business will look very different from today, not because technology changes, but because the way people think, work, and connect changes. The choices you make now will determine whether your business thrives or struggles in this new reality. Building a business built for tomorrow means embracing change as a constant. It means seeing disruption not as a threat, but as a signal. It means designing everything with flexibility in mind. Your products, your team, your marketing, and your mindset. Tomorrow's business is not fixed or rigid. It's fluid, adaptable, and alive. It also means putting purpose at the center. In a world flooded with options, customers and clients seek meaning. They want to support businesses that stand for something beyond profit, that care about impact, ethics, and community. Your ability to define and live your purpose will be a key differentiator in the coming years. Technology will continue to evolve, but so will expectations. AI will become more powerful and more accessible. Automation will touch every corner of business. But the human elements, trust, creativity, empathy, and vision, will remain your greatest assets. The business built for tomorrow is one that balances machine efficiency with human authenticity. Leadership will shift, too. Leaders will be less about command and control, and more about connection and empowerment. They will foster cultures of learning, innovation, and resilience. They will see their teams as partners in a shared mission, not just employees in a hierarchy. If you build your business with these principles, you won't just survive the next decade, you'll shape it. You'll create something that lasts beyond trends, algorithms, or market shifts. You'll build a legacy of value and meaning. The future is here. It's powered by AI, driven by people, and defined by those who dare to build differently. This book has given you the new rules. Now it's your turn to write what comes next. Build boldly. Build with heart. Build for tomorrow. Thank you for listening. In business, don't just follow trends. Build systems that adapt when trends change. The future rewards those who think long, move fast, and stay human.